Hello, and welcome to the About Healing podcast, a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys, and who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I am your host, About Healing medium and certified spiritual healer, Sheree Buckman. It is my purpose to guide others to the path of self-healing and to inspire those on their spiritual journeys in finding their truths. Join me as I share my experience and unfiltered perspective in healing, as well as the incredible wisdom of the loving energy that guides us. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of About Healing podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I wanted to give just a quick moment or a quick shout out to all of you who've been following. And if this is your first episode, welcome. For everybody else, just know that I'm really grateful for you. That this journey, this podcast, has been a fantastic outlet for myself. So I'm really hoping that you are enjoying it also, that as I do this almost audio journal for myself, that you were taking these lessons or even these personal journeys that I've been on and finding inspiration or finding a lesson in it that you were able to bring into your everyday life. So with that, I want to get started because I have a lot to talk about today. And to begin this, I would like to start with, of course, pulling a card from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck. This is written by the CEO and co-founder of Goddess Provisions, Jill Pyle. The card this week that I pulled for all of us right now in this present moment, it is deep breathing. You know what I felt is important as I go in and read this card or read from the guidebook here that comes with a mantra. Each of these cards come with a mantra. I haven't shared these, but this one feels important, I feel, also for the topic that we're going to be discussing today. So the mantra for this card: when I stop to take a breath, I clear my mind and lead with love. Oh, take that in for myself for a moment. Tap into your breath and watch how quickly your mood and circumstances can shift to a more positive state, one intentional breath at a time. Sometimes taking a few deep breaths can be the most potent medicine and allow you to come into the present moment with a fresh perspective. Long, deep breaths that go all the way down your chest and fill your belly will nourish the nervous system. Practice deep breathing at every opportunity. It's especially useful before or after any stressful situations that have put your nervous system into a tailspin. To go more in depth with your breathing practice, try a breathwork class or exercise. Taking the time to tune in to your breathing and practice specific breathing patterns, such as rapid exhalations called breath on fire, a cleansing breathing technique rooted to Kundalini yoga, can have amazing effects on your physical and metaphysical body. For those of you who enjoy the journal prompt, it is: if you stop to take a breath before responding to challenging situations, what do you think the impact on your life would be?
Have you been enjoying our weekly card readings? Well, then we have a special deal for you. We've partnered with goddessprovisions.com as an affiliate to offer you a discount on all their fabulous products. Receive 10% off your minimum purchase of $25, which can also be applied to your first subscription box. Use code ABOUTHEALING to apply your discount and support the About Healing podcast.
What a great card to pull for today's episode, as actually this will come up later, and I'm really excited to reference back to this. So let's begin in the topic for today. And I want to start by asking a question. Who else suffers from scattered brain disorder? Like, I'm raising my hand up in the sky. I don't know if you can imagine that, but mine's way up there. I don't know about the rest of you, but ooh, reaching way up. Totally me. What do I mean by this is, when you are trying to focus on one thing, but you get sidetracked easily. Oh, look, shiny. It's my scattered brain disorder. And that's what I mean by that. That's a term I made up. But with that being said, I know I'm not alone. I really feel that I'm not alone in this. Truthfully, let me talk about how scattered my brain is. That when I sat down to write the notes for this episode, just those 3 sentences that I was trying to write down for my notes to begin this, I stopped 3 times to take phone calls and to make calendar adjustments. It took me, I don't know, 20 minutes to write 3 sentences down. Oh my goodness, my poor scattered brain. And then really that has to do with a whole lot of factors like boundaries and all the other things, but that's another episode, and part of it I will put in here later in this episode here. So bear with me. I'm bringing my focus in. Just wait a second, it's coming. So obviously, if this episode already isn't a prime example, it already is showing that the last couple of episodes, you can see that with my topics. Because just 2 episodes ago, I got into the physical wellness. And I had stated that, we're going to go on this physical wellness journey by having people on, and we're going to be talking about this for a few. And then last episode, because the spring equinox hit, I had to put Tracy's episode there and we had to talk about spring energy. So we put that here, and now here we are. The thing is, I know we're gonna bounce back. And for those of you who have followed me for a while, you can see that it's interesting how when I have different topics come up that come out of sequence of what I had originally planned, it's always in perfect timing and balance. Because what I have found is that whatever I'm going through in that moment, other people are too. And it's the perfect moment where we need to start speaking about it or bring that shift. And so I have come to believe that there is a beautiful purpose in this scattered brain disorder. Anyway, that's what I've been calling it. The best part, well, let's say the best part, the way to find that purpose and the way to kind of bring it and reel it in is learning how to harness our thoughts and train the brain. And by that part, I'm meaning our mental, that ego, that physical human part of ourself. It's to get that to connect with our emotional and spiritual aspects to help us to slow it down and focus on the meaningful thoughts so that we may begin to organize and plant these inspired seeds. This topic actually sprouted from my newsletter this month. I write a newsletter every month, and this is my 3rd year now, so every month. So this is the March newsletter for About Healing. If you're not a subscriber, you can actually go and access this article through my website, abouthealingmedium.com, and the newsletter tab. They're all on there. And so if you find a connection to this, I suggest going in and maybe reading in and filling in with some of those pieces. But this is really just going in deeper depth from that. But after releasing that article, I received a few messages from readers who stated how much it resonated with them. First of all, that made me feel better in the sense of when I write these articles, they are all about my own journey. It's what am I going through in that moment, or what have I been working on within that month in my own personal healing journey. And so these are really vulnerable. And sometimes when I put these out there, it's it's a little scary, wondering how it's gonna be responded. Am I going too far, too personal? I don't know. But every time I get worried or wondering if it's gonna be met or understood are usually the times where I get the messages from readers saying, "This was a really good one. Thank you for sharing with this. I totally get it and I connect." And again, it is just that reassurance and validation that we are all connected. That these things that we are going through that we feel maybe that are different from other people or those around us, if you've tried to explain it to some people, they don't get it. And then it makes you feel different, makes you feel more isolated, and that you're on this really lonely journey. But the truth is that you're not. There are many of us out there going through these same things that completely understand it. And so, for those of you who understand what it's like to lose focus and have these scattered thoughts and having these creative brains, this episode's for you. And I want to talk about it and talk about what I am going through my journey and how I am learning to bring that focus. How do I harness this? So, let me begin by explaining my own personal scattered brain disorder. All right. So, I am a master muse of creative concepts. That's what I like to say. I think that's a beautiful description of it. I am always downloading and receiving new creative thoughts and ideas. I mean, constantly. This isn't an over exaggeration. Constantly. I am constantly receiving these ideas so quickly. I can't possibly write them all down, let alone manage them because there's so many. So, really, if I look at it, if we really look at that term I just gave myself for the definition of being a master muse, I'm probably not a master because obviously I haven't learned to master it. So let's just say I'm a master in trading. That is my goal here. I am learning to achieve that. And how do I master this so that I can also teach it? So I'm teaching you now while I'm in it because things are starting to make more sense, obviously, which is why I'm talking about it. So, what do I do to try to keep up with this channel of energy? Well, what I have been doing, which hasn't been working out well, is I've been tossing them out in front of me and running with them because I can't keep up with writing them down or keeping them organized. So they all feel so big and so beautiful and so creative. I'm like, well, I can't lose this. I can't lose this. So let me take this idea that just feels really awesome. So I'll throw it out. I'm throwing it out into the universe, throwing it out in front of me. And I'm like, okay, we're going to throw it out and we're just going to try it. We're going to try to create it and we're going to keep going and going and going. I mean, with no extra attention or thought to it. As I just mentioned, the thing is that I feel the energy with each of these creative thoughts, with each of these downloads, sort of speak. They feel real and big and important. I know I'm not meant to just put them on a list. They're not meant to just be written down or just to be logged or, oh, that's cute. And then, forget about it. So for me, because I can't manage all of it, I make impulsive decisions. Yes, very impulsive decisions. Now, when I make these impulsive decisions and I toss them out and I'm just trying to throw them out there and create them or trying to get them to fly in the sky all by themselves, these little baby birds, are they successful? Not usually. I mean, definitely not usually. But do they have the potential to be? Absolutely, they do.
Empowering our community with holistic choices for managing pain and stress is our motto here at Moon Medicine Therapeutics. Our services include massage, yoga and mindfulness classes, and my favorite, custom blended medicinal teas with sassy names like Rusty Guts for digestive issues or Calm Your Tits for sleep and anxiety. Laughter is powerful medicine, so drink it up with a comforting cup of down-to-earth herbalism. You can stalk me at moonmedicinatherapeutics.com.
So, this is what I want to share with you today, the lessons I am learning and the current journey I am on. This journey is no small feat. It is not, because this is one I have been working on for a very long time. It takes a lot of effort, energy, and awareness to make the changes, really, any changes, and especially something so big and hardwired. But here is what I want to share with you thus far. And it begins by asking questions. Let's start with this. How do we harness our scattered thoughts? Okay, this is what I've come down with, and this is what I've been practicing, and it is helping. The first thing is slowing down the active mind. Yeah, okay, Sheree. That sounds amazing. We know that's a thing that some people can do, but how do I do it? For those of you who've tried meditation and other things, you're like, my mind doesn't stop. I get it. That was me too, especially when I started meditation. I'm like, how do I get this brain to shut off? Because it constantly just keeps going. Well, we will do a whole episode in the future about meditation, and I will share my full journey and what I do know about it. But let's go in general terms here, right? Let's start here. Our minds do not control us, contrary to our lifetime of experience of overthinking with irrational and scattered thoughts, because that's me. And I know most of my friends and most of the people I know exactly what I'm talking about here, right? So, how? How do we do this? The key here is practicing mindfulness. Great, Sheree. Other fancy terms that make no meaning, and I don't know how to do this. Bear with me for a minute, everybody. Bear with me. This actually means maintaining focus in the moment and having awareness of your thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment without interpretation or judgments. You have to understand the big key word right there is practicing mindfulness. It's not a switch. You can't just turn that switch on and off and bring that focus or clear your mind, it does take practice. And it's just like, what is it? Season 1, I believe, where at the end we had the Christmas series. I did the Ghost of Christmas Past, Christmas Present, Christmas Future. I kind of spoke about this and where our mind goes and what we bring focus on, sort of speak. But the key is the present. In the present moment, if you can bring your awareness right now in the moment, it is just telling yourself, stop, focus. What is happening right now? Let's bring that mindfulness into the now moment. It's again taking a deep breath. And it's that breath work. That's why I loved that we pulled this card this morning. This is perfect. This is the perfect card to begin this focus. It is taking those deep breaths because what those breaths do, it slows us down. Not only is it good for our nervous system and bodily functions because it slows our minds down too. It does. It's giving us a release and exhaust to just slow it down for a minute and focus right now in the present because the past is already done. We can't change it. Already done. Boom, let that go. And the future hasn't happened yet. So let's not put our strained energy and our irrational thoughts and all of that anxiety we're creating over something that hasn't happened yet. Let's focus on the moment. Take those deep breaths. Try breath work. Look up different focuses of breath work for you. It doesn't have to be a specific kind. Or if you're just counting to 3 and doing 3 deep breaths or going to 10, whatever it may be, just to slow down a moment to find the new direction of where you need to go. Meditations are fantastic. Again, if you're beginning, guided meditations are great. And there might be a focused meditation coming soon, so stay tuned. Journaling is great too. And if you're not good at journaling, find one that has journal prompts because this is just going to allow you to see where your brain, all those scattered thoughts, and put them in one place. And you can do it like bullet journaling. Make a list, just a list of all the scattered thoughts. Just get them down on paper. Some of them just want to be recognized for a moment. Okay, let's cross that out. We're done thinking about that and move on. Taking a walk or a hike. Now, for me, this is big. I love hiking. This is, to me, it's meditative, it's grounding. I clear my head so well, and my thoughts just align, and I receive so clearly when I am hiking. And maybe this isn't for you, and that's okay. But I'm putting it on the list there for anybody else who likes to go on walks. It's just allowing yourself, it's that grounding time. That something about the energy of the earth just slows it down for you. And it filters through and it just brings up those important pieces that you're trying to find. It's fantastic. And taking a bath. Are you one that loved to soak in that hot bath? Because when you get into that moment and you're relaxing your body, you're relaxing your mind, and you can begin to let go. It's taking an intentional bath at that. Intentional bath of letting the overactive mind or those thoughts or the ones especially that you don't want to be scattered or be thinking about, the irrational stuff, the heavy stuff, imagine it just oozing out of your pores and leaving into the water. So when you drain your tub, it goes away with the dirty water and it's gone. And there's a new way or a new technique that I am practicing right now. It's one that my friend Katie Sass has brought into my life, and I love it. And so for me personally, it's one that I'm super attached to right now. It's called 0 point energy. This is about the lowest possible energy level or grounded state in a quantized electromagnetic field. It is about grounding yourself and getting to yourself at a neutral point. It's a neutral point. That means we're not quite in the meditative state of receiving, and we're grounded. So we are also releasing the overactive mind and we're bringing ourselves to that neutral state. As I've been practicing this and really trying to get into that neutral state, I am finding that my entire whole being is craving it. And it's not just my physical body or my emotional or spiritual self. It is every level of my being is craving this. So I'm trying to make a better effort in putting this into my self care practice. I should be doing it every day. Am I? Not always. It takes a lot of effort to do that. And I'm busy too. I'm not perfect. I'm human. Do I meditate every day? No, not every day. Again, I am human. Things get busy. Do I ground every day? Yes, that I do. But I can do that very quickly and sometimes almost unconsciously throughout the day. But I digress. Let's bring ourselves back. So, slowing down the active mind, there are different steps. Find something. You can start with the list I just gave you and just pick out the couple of items or the one item that you feel drawn to. Try it out and try it on for yourself. The next item on this list of how do we harness our scattered thoughts is focus, right? It's what to focus on. Begin with narrowing your thoughts by asking yourself, what do you want? This has come as a very important question that has really and truly helped me bring focus into these 100 million thoughts that are running through my head constantly. What do you want? Really think about that. Think about what you are wanting in your life. What are you trying to create? What is it, your goals or your dreams, essentially? Is it creating financial abundance? Building a career or business? Finding balance between all avenues of life? Healing old wounds and finding peace within yourself? Or creating safety and harmony for the world around you? This question of what do you want helps you identify what your goals are and what you are trying to achieve. Our scattered thoughts are unmanageable when we don't have a vision for what we are trying to obtain. It's like trying to collect water without containers. Water. I meant to say rain. You get it. It's like trying to go outside and trying to collect it and you have nothing, no buckets to put it in, and it just runs through your hands. That's why it's so scattered. That's why we don't even know what to do with it, right? So find it out. What is it that you're trying to focus on? And then you can organize these thoughts and begin to really just put the attention on the one that's going to lead you towards your goals. The next item here on harnessing your scattered thoughts is planning and research. Okay. Whether your list looks like mine, I just honestly, that was a very personal list that I put there on some of the things that I want and that I'm trying to find, or whether yours are completely different, there is a bigger question we also have to ask in supporting these goals. Do you have a plan of action? Researching how to obtain your goals is a proficient way to begin. When you better understand the steps to getting what you want, you know where to begin. Thus, focusing the filter on the mind to make a plan. Okay, so another personal example here. And what I mean by that is when you're researching and figuring it out, you know where you need to go next, right? At least where to start. So for me, again, while I have all of these beautiful plans and goals, let's talk about my business, right? Okay, so again, things have been a little scattered. Well, how do I bring focus to this? So for me and my next little plan for this and researching what I need to do is developing an official and professional business plan, stating clearly my goals for my business, the methods for obtaining these goals, and the time frame to achieve them. Oh my goodness. Why didn't I think about this before? Because I'm so scattered thinking about 500 million other things that none of this was clear. And while this may be clear to other people, when you are one, again, you have this scattered brain syndrome and you are a muse, this creative person who is always receiving, it is so hard to weed through it and see things clearly. It's the focus, it's bringing the focus. And this is why I have lists. I've talked about this several times. I lists. I have to because my focus always goes somewhere else. So it reminds me going back, okay, let's finish this first before I start these new, beautiful, creative projects. And yes, and while I was just talking about these last couple of items, I want you to know that a lot of these are from the Real Magic series I did in season 3 about the magic of creativity, of words, goals and dreams and intentions. So if you are really getting into this and you're wanting some more info, I am going to suggest you go back and I believe at least this one specifically, like the goals and dreams was season 3 episode 11, but they are scattered throughout the season. So let's go into the next step that I have for harnessing your scattered thoughts. So, once we have gone through and asked ourselves the questions of what we want, and then making the plan, doing the research, right? Now we need to plant it. We need to plant the seed. Planting our ideas gives us time to develop their roots, thus creating a stable foundation. As I said before, I was just tossing them out in the air, tossing them out and just hoping they were going to like take off and float away somewhere. And this is a big part of what I was writing about in the newsletter. It's about understanding that these ideas, they're not meant to fly. When you have these creative, beautiful ideas, they take work. They don't just manifest immediately. So, I mean, really, think of your wants as something you want to grow. In my experience, as I just said, forcing ideas into manifestation does not work. So I'm going back and pulling this from the manifestation episode, season 3, episode 15. It's the formula for manifestation. And I had to remind myself of this, and I had to go back too. Because again, I'm human, I get busy, and I have to go back. The formula is intention, which is also your thought, plus emotion. This is the ingredient that gives the intention breath, and faith. It's knowing and trusting that it's going to do something. Don't forget that. So it does take those pieces. We're going to plant those seeds. And then I am going to follow up. There's going to be another fun bonus episode coming, and I'm doing one. It's about planting the seeds for your dreams. So stay tuned for that. So the last piece I want to talk about in how do we harness our scattered thoughts, the last one there is patience. Oh man, the dreaded word for any passionate, impulsive, sensitive. Patience. Ugh, right? Patience is a key factor. Like I said, it's just like with anything that is growing, any plant or seed you plant, you have patience. There's nothing you can do to make it grow and root in that moment and burst up into this giant, beautiful oak tree. It's time. That takes time. You cannot go from A to Z in one step. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've beat that to death. It's my autopilot of managing the excess inspired thoughts. That's where it was. So I had to turn that off now, and I had to bring this self awareness and focus in here. I had to learn, and I am still learning, that all of these beautiful ideas and downloads that I am receiving are not all inspired. Really, they're not, especially when I'm putting them in alignment with my goals and what I am trying to achieve, what it is that I want in all aspects of my life, not just my purposeful work. It's also what I want for my personal life and for my family and everything else. It has to fit into one of those. And sometimes it just purely does not make sense. And it's okay to let those ones go. Let them go. Each thought, idea, goal, dream, and want deserves the attention it requires to not only grow, but to one day thrive on its own. Yeah, that goes with understanding that every single one of your wants and desires and dreams, that you're worthy of it. And once you understand that, each one of those, they deserve that attention and that energy, your attention and energy. Like we don't have babies and expect them to move out and take care of themselves the next day, right? Do we? Do we? No, we have to nourish them, love them, teach them, make mistakes, apologize, and then watch them take their first steps to eventually seeing them become full functioning adults. Hopefully, because that's the goal, right? Hopefully. So let's give these amazing baby seeds the time and attention they need so we may one day sit back and admire the surprising and hopefully prosperous forms they become. So here's the next question. The next question to ask: how do I manage it? Okay, so if we can harness our thoughts, how do we manage it? That's the next thing. Well, it takes a few things. Number one, self awareness. That self awareness. It's understanding again when you know it and when you don't really know it. When you need to correct your thoughts or your actions, or when you've made mistakes, or when things are great and when to celebrate. Self awareness. And it's okay again. If you fail, you get up and you try something new. It's the experiments, having that self awareness in it and knowing when it's not working and it's time to pivot. It's also constant practice. It's going to take constant practice. This is not something that you learn or change in a day, in a week, or a month. This is going to be a lot of practice. This is about intentional thinking. It's about bringing the attention to your awareness, right? And stopping yourself from getting so scattered and remembering, what can I do in this moment? Okay, that's right. Let's take some deep breaths and bring myself here. Keep practicing. And if one isn't working for you, try a different method. I'm sure there are even more methods that I haven't even spoke about, but these are just the ones I've been practicing with. Try something different for you. It's okay. And support. Support is another way to manage this. You guys, support is invaluable. This is where you learn from and lean on. Who can you go to? And it's not even just about a physical person you can go to or speak to, but it's also about inspired other people. Who do you follow? What books are you reading? What other podcasts are you listening to? Find these inspired people and let's learn from them and these new techniques. How are they managing it? What can we learn from their journeys and their mistakes? That's why I'm sharing mine. Let's learn from mine. I'm being brave enough to share my mistakes and my journey, my awkwardness. You're welcome. Honestly, you want to know what the true nature of work is for my About Healing team, for Copper and Rachel? It's keeping me focused. I swear. I promise. I believe that's probably their main job focus. My team knows me well. Copper's known me for a very, very long time. And Rachel, again, is one of my other best friends. I'm very close with my team, which means they're very close to me. And they know when to tell me, Sheree, bring it in. An example. When I can give a new idea or a plan to discuss during one of our team meetings, usually, and I love this, especially Copper knows, they'll end the meeting with a conversation to me. Sheree, this doesn't need to be done now. Let's bring our focus. And they give me this timeline. And I love it. I love them and adore them. And you know what? And I am self-aware enough to be honest and say, yes, I absolutely need that. And I love it. And yes, please. I love that they boss me around. But it's what I need because I have this awareness to know that I may have some very beautiful, special gifts, but I am not fully well-rounded in all aspects. And so I need the balance and I need these very grounded people around me to help me bring that balance. And that's what they do. So for you, who are those grounded people? What kind of team can you create for yourself? But like I said, it doesn't have to be live people. Find the resources and the places that inspire you and make you feel whole. So I want to end this episode with just an excerpt from my March newsletter. It has been through self-awareness, honesty, and the willingness to change that allows me to continue to thrive within my life and purposeful work. That and the amazing people around me, my friends, family, spiritual guidance, and my About Healing team, who offer safety while providing loving support through my many stages of growth. I continue to share these personal and honest examples of my journey to inspire others to not hide nor shame their weaknesses, failures, or challenges. We are human. We all have them. What matters is how we learn, change, and grow. Ah, so beautiful souls. Until next time, be kind to yourself. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at abouthealingmedium.com. You can also follow About Healing Medium on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find the episode's healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask a question or to share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to reach me on Facebook and Instagram at About Healing Medium. Until next time, be kind to yourself.